Batman number 36, Tom King writing, Clayman on art. This is the start of Super Friends, which is basically, this issue is Batman and Superman. Batman's talking to Catwoman, Superman's talking to Lois, and it's basically about whether Bruce should call Clark, or whether Clark should call Bruce about the fact that he's got engaged and that there's going to be a wedding. And it's basically both men feeling kind of insecure about calling the other one, questioning if are we really those kind of friends, or are we, we're just colleagues kind of thing.
And that's kind of heartbreaking as I'm reading it, as they're both talking about each other. So that means they're both so insecure.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think the irony of it is as well, they're both doing it because they think the other one's better than them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of the sort of the heart-touching part of the book. The heartwarming part was they're both kind of describing how good the other person is. Like, it's like, Batman, like, this horrible thing happened to him, but he turned it into a symbol of hope. And he doesn't have to do this. Like, he could have been awful or whatever. And on the other side, Bruce is saying, well, Clark could have done anything, but both men say, they had to do what they did. The other person had a choice.
I feel like King was going, like, we're going to have Superman fans, we're going to have Batman fans, and it's always that argument of who's better. And I feel like King's like, neither of them's better because they're equal. And I like that. I like that it showed throughout. Now we can argue who's better, Lois or Catwoman, because they both got to shine in their own ways here.
They did. Both in their own
This feels like it's another one of those, well, they're both equal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think I let out one of the biggest laughs I have done in a while in a comic book. After the awkward silence when they've run into each other, Batman and Catwoman are there, Superman and Lois are there. They both end up in this building because they're finding this pair of radioactive villains, and there's just this awkward silence from Batman and Superman, and then Lois just sort of extends her hand and says, "Oh hi, you must be Catwoman," and she just shakes her hand. That brought a smile to my face. It was delightful.
Yeah, I also love any time that they talk about Clark's, disguise, or Superman's disguise of Clark, and how obvious it is if you really know him. Yeah. And he's like, well, we can't trust her with my identity because she's Catwoman. And Lois is like, look, man.
She just goes, oh, hon. Yeah, you think she doesn't know.
Yeah, and that, it's her job to find things, that are hidden. She's a thief, so pretty sure she knows. And then on the other side of the page, it's Catwoman having that discussion with Batman, saying, like, I know who Superman is. I've known for a while. Yeah, so it was just fun out of both. I can't, every time I read this, each passing month, since War of Jokes and Riddles, I go, I can't believe I talk so much crap about King around I Am Suicide, because he's really come into his own, and I feel if I praise him on Twitter a lot, he's going to block me, so I feel he's going to be like, this dude's a stalker, so I've been just trying to be careful.
Yeah, actually, I was also slightly touched by the moment where Catwoman thinks that Batman's ashamed of her, and that's why he's not calling. That was a kind of a touching little moment of her being kind of, maybe not insecure, maybe that's not the right word, but just, worried about how he feels about her.
Yeah, I mean, she is a criminal. They didn't meet on, the street or the boat under less great circumstances, so you can see where she's coming from.
I mean, honestly, it's a very simple issue. It's obviously, it constantly flips back between the two pairs.
Yeah.
The art is gorgeous. Clayman.
Oh yeah. Can we talk about the symmetry that is constantly going?
Oh, go on.
Well, I mean, so the very first page, you have Superman. It's a big full page spread, and you've got Superman there coming in from the right. Then you have 2 pages after that of Superman and Lois, and then you cut to a Batman page, and it's a big full page, him coming in from the left, and then 2 pages of him and Catwoman. And it's like this constant thing all the way through the issue where it'll just parallel the two of them.
If it was a movie, it would be constantly intercut.
Yeah, it also narrows the amount as it goes. Because as you say, it's a full page and 2 pages of each. And then it starts to go page to page between them. So 2 pages each, then it's 1 page each. And then it gets to the point where they've got a column in each page each. And then you get to the end of it, it's just going panel to panel between them.
Yeah, and then you finally get to the point where they actually meet and they're in the same panels together, but they're still split down the middle.
Yeah, it's really thought out and well done in that sense. And obviously you've got the nice contrast between them as well. Everything on Superman's side is very warm and bright colours. Everything on Batman's side is very dark and purpley and grey. But no, really gorgeous stuff. Obviously, I'm assuming Matt loved the classic shirt opening panel.
Yep, of
Superman.
course.
Yeah, and that was really pretty. Stuff in the back cave might even be my favourite of the issue, actually.
It's funny you mentioned the shirt opening, because King's tweet about how he's writing, a solo Superman thing. He's like, all right, we're going to get all the cliches out the way, get them out of my system.
Yeah.
This felt like one of them. It's like, all right, get out of my system now. I don't have to just make sure it's there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still always a great moment. Like, no matter how many times I've seen it, you know.
That's why they're kind of the cliches, aren't they, though?
Yeah, but with me, cliche has a derogatory feel to it. Like, it's, oh, of course you have to do it because, versus like, oh, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to see it. And it's just one of those, it's kind of like when Batman does that pose, like from Dark Knight Returns. Like, that's always a cool when you see different versions of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love Clayman's Clark because he doesn't look like anybody but Clark Kent, because, Frank's always looks like Christopher Reeve. So the fact that this just looks like Clark Kent, as he should, it's nice. And he's differentiated from Batman, because, I mean, let's be honest, they could almost be brothers. Like, there's the American Alien
they do have, there's a common complaint. It's the jawline.
Yeah. It's because they're both meant to be these, like the perfect, like, broad-jawed specimen of a man. Like, they're both meant to be kind of the perfect-looking guy. So they end up looking it's very similar in a lot of comics.
But I like, since King's been on Batman, though, Batman's had a healthy amount of scruff. So I always feel that helps. He hasn't got
time to be shaving all the time.
No, which makes sense, because shaving takes a while if you do it right.
Yeah, tortured Batman is best Batman.
Patchy. Are you saying scruff's torture there, Pete?
No, I'm saying it represents the torture.
Okay.
He's got scruff because he's too tortured to take the time to shave.
I just think it represents he's a workaholic. He don't got time to it.
Look, the reality is Selena likes the facial hair.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Yeah. Well, she's a cat. She likes to rub up against the fur.
Yeah.
So there we go.
The elevator sequence, we see Superman and Lois take the elevator down, but Batman and Catwoman take the elevator shaft up. Well, and they end up meeting on the same floor.
Yeah, it's kind of it's the perfect kind of just again contrast between them. One of them is just out in the bright and doing the normal thing, and then the other one's hiding in the shadows and climbing up the shaft. No,
it's I think it's Batman and Catwoman going down, right? Because they're the ones on the roof, and they come down because you see Superman through the revolving
door. They walk
door.
through the front.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, just that's my point. That they're doing the normal thing, and then Batman and Catwoman are doing the.
They both end up on the same floor.
Yeah. But no, I also get a nice little moment at the end where just before they quickly beat the bad guys, where Superman says "Vengeance is the night" and Batman says "Up, up and away." Nice little touch. And I can't lie. I really hope this next issue is literally just this double date for the whole thing.
Yeah. So Clayman tweeted out an image that's been retweeted by Mitch Gerard, and I'm trying to think of some of the other comic creators that have retweeted it. But it's Batman, Bruce Wayne, Selena Kyle, Lois Lane, and Clark Kent out on date night, and it just looks fantastic. It's just a single panel of them standing together, and. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to get. I think, of course, there's going to be shenanigans.
Oh, sure.
Again, it's comics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am so excited to see, because Bruce is dressed up in in a nice shirt and slacks, but Clark's dressed in a flannel shirt with jeans.
Of course he is.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I'm going to say this. Lois is going to ask how they met, and the boat and street argument is going to come up at the dinner table. It's happening. I'm calling it right now.
Well, that's been the constant of King since the rooftop story.
Oh sure, but I just specifically mean because that's always what when you're on a double date with a couple who when you know them but you don't know them that well, that's always the subject that comes up. So how did you meet?
Or alternatively, I can see them both going, "We met at work."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But again, that joke will play. Sides. That joke will play though because we've had this going on for the last several issues.
Exactly. I'm more curious to see how when they ask how Lois and Clark met, to see what that story is, because that's changed all over the years.
Yeah, it has. If I was to guess, I'd say the movie just referenced the movie. Actually, if anything, they'll say
helicopter.
Yeah, helicopter. I caught it. Well, because that's Secret Origin as well, and that's kind of I think the most in continuity
the
one.
de facto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even in Birthright, Wade kind of played with that. I mean, it wasn't quite a helicopter, but it was the same moment of who's got, I've got you, who's got you. They always play that up, but yeah, because that would be the normal go-to joke, is those two say, Lois and Clark say we met at work because they're colleagues, but but I think it would be fun to flip that around.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, but the weird thing is, you could also say that about Batman and Superman. How'd you two meet? You met
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah. It kind of works for all of them.
also, this is kind of the tone I always wanted for a Batman Superman movie. Like, I hate the fact that BVS made that a versus, which I was always my biggest hang up. Because this works
what I hate?
so well.
I hate that you remind me that it exists when I'm thinking about this fantastic
I know.
comic.
You can, but that's what makes this one so much better. Is we're coming off of a period in pop culture where it's versus, everything's versus, and here it's just a story about them trying to get along, and they feel each other's not their friend, but deep down they know that they have each other's backs no matter what, and that's always what I want out of these two. I hate that we have to have the dynamic.